Goeiedei and welcome. My name is Amarenske and today I will be doing, like you can see from my title or thumbnail, a currently reading video, which is also tentatively my TBR for June because I already started all of these books and I at least want to finish these ones in June. So let's start with the first one, which is The Core by Peter V. Brett. Book 5 in the Demon Cycle, and I cannot tell you a lot about this because this literally starts off at the directly after the events of book 4. We follow some different characters again because one of the things this series is known for is that it has an insane amount of perspectives, and I am like 200, almost 300 pages in, and in the first 150-ish pages 2 more perspectives were added and we already had about 10 maybe. So there is a lot of perspectives in here, and one thing I will spoil because you notice it pretty easily early on is that we have a demon's perspective in this book as well, which I did not expect in book 1, but you see it pretty early on in book 2 or 3 I think, and it's not really a spoiler, it's logical since this book has a demon on the cover. And the cover of each book has like the main character which is focused on the history or the current event on the cover. So that I will say. Oh, and basically this starts off with the Warded Man, which follows 3 people. One is in the childhood, one is in his youth, and one is just before her 20s when it starts, and it follows their coming of age basically, and well, it's about that in a world where every night demons rise from the ground, and the only way to protect is an only half understood warding magic that protects you from demons coming in, and it becomes more complex and more difficult to protect for the people to protect themselves as the story goes on. It's character driven and very heavy in the world's politics of the world this takes place in, which includes the demon world, by the way. So be prepared for a ride. It's maybe not as fast as you could, but still, even in the not action heavy sequences, quite a lot happens, but more in talking and people explaining stuff to one another. But let's go on with the next book, which is a horror book. The previous one was a horror fantasy, although I would now call it more of a thriller fantasy, I think. But this is a horror book, The Ritual by Adam Neville, and apparently this has been made into a movie. I did not even notice that this is a movie tie-in cover. When I bought the book, I just thought that the cover was interesting. I read a synopsis and I was interested. I'm about 70 pages into this book and I really want to finish it. So it's about 4 friends who walk into a wood and they decide to take a shortcut, but then strange and weird things start to happen, I mean. And we go on with the other 3 books, which are all also fantasies, just like the first one. The first one is Auspicious, which is about 2 friends who discover that extraordinary people do exist, and those are basically our superheroes and supervillains, and that is what the story is about. Till now, it's by V. Schwab. It's decent. Like, when you read it, it sucks you in just like all her other books, but I don't know if I think this is either her best work or actually really good. A lot of people seem to think it's really good, but I'm only like 1/3 of the way through, so I don't know what happens further, and if I want to finish it at all, actually, probably will. Unlike the next one, which is a good book, but maybe I'm not the target audience. It's Skyne of the Fox by S.M. Baiko, which is about a girl who at a night gets almost killed and discovers she is magical, because of course that trope needs to be in here. She also somehow is the chosen one, it seems, and she is led by a fox. I'm not going to say more because that spoils the first reveal of the book already, and I'm just 70-ish pages in, so I'm not that far in, but we already have had a reveal that I think either needed to be surprising or shocking, and it was neither. I mean, this book is written well. It's not badly written, it's not a bad story, it just seems like I am not the target audience, but I will give it another shot because the parts are like 100 pages long, so I will see what I think of part 2 and then decide if I want to finish the book or not. Then we have an urban fantasy by Michelle Baker, Borderline, about a person who tried to commit suicide and has borderline personality disorder. She tried to commit suicide, now she walks on prosthetics or uses a wheelchair. She wanted to be a filmmaker, didn't quite make it, and now she somehow gets sucked into a paranormal fae-ish world, which is quite standard. It's enjoyable, it's fast-paced, it's easy to read, and it's fast to read, even for me who reads normally very slow. It's very enjoyable, and you should not go in knowing more than that. I have seen that it has high ratings, but also like 3-star ratings, and of course books always have like low ratings because there will always be people who dislike books no matter who wrote the book, because like it's not written for everyone, it cannot be. I have been out of this book for a while and I have not been inclined to pick it back up, but when I was reading it I could not put it down, so maybe I will finish it in one go when I decide to start it. Like you can see from my magnetic bookmark, I'm almost 50% of the way through. I'm now at page, I think, yeah, 180 from 300 and something. 390. So it's maybe, yeah, almost 50% of the way through. And now we go to the 6th and last book, which I might have only read 10 pages of. It's Jade City by Fonda Lee. This probably is the most fast-paced book I have picked up in a while. It seems to be character-driven. It's about a city where Jade is very, very important and carries magical powers. And we start off the book with 2 characters trying to steal a whole bunch of jade for themselves so they can sell it, or maybe use it to become very, very rich and to get out of their serving jobs at a bar/restaurant type place. The setting seems very, very Asian, China or Japan inspired. You can see it in how the buildings are described and how the people are described, and the fact that it works with clans and how the clans are divided into leaders and stuff. It's very interesting, and I'm very, very, very willing and I want to finish this. I don't have words today. So this was it for now. Thank you for watching and tot de keer.